Hello friends, I am sharing a challenging case of grade 4 to grade 5 nuclear sclerosis cataract along with posterior polar cataract. We all know this is a challenging case because hard cataract with posterior polar poses certain challenges to any surgeon. Hard cataract need a good hydrodissection and rotation, while posterior polar cataract demands no hydrodissection and no rotation of nucleus. So friends, in this video I have done a staining of anterior capsule with trypan blue dye, and I am intending to make a large capsulotomy. Friends, I am making two phacoemulsification ports of 2.2 mm each, perpendicular to each other. So one is supranasal, other is supratemporal. This is so I'm going to show the advantage of these two phacoemulsification ports as the case will progress. So I am injecting viscoelastic. I have already stained the capsule with trypan blue dye. I am also using viscoat to protect the endothelium as cataract is very hard. Friends, I am sorry for slight decentration of cataract in early part of the video. After some time this will be well centered. So I am here intending to make a large capsulotomy as it is advised for any hard cataract. So I am intending for the capsulotomy of around 5.5 mm in diameter, maybe slightly towards 6 mm. So as you can see, the capsulotomy is of sufficient size. I am just putting some more viscoelastic, but yes, every time I inject viscoelastic, I ensure that the anterior chamber pressure do not rise very high so that it will not lead to rent in the posterior capsule and nucleus drop. So I have completed the capsulotomy very well. He said if initial steps are right, next steps are going to be easier. So I am not doing hydrodissection here. I am doing very gentle hydrodelineation. Though cataract is very hard, so there is hardly any epinuclear plate, but I am trying to do hydrodelineation to the extent possible. And now I am again injecting viscoat to coat the endothelium. Every time I inject viscoat, I put some methyl cellulose also. So it is soft shell technique, as we all know already. So now you will see the advantage of making two phacoemulsification ports. So friends, here I would like to tell you that I am ambidextrous for ophthalmic surgeries. I can use right and left hand with equal dexterity. So in this case or in such cases, I am able to do or able to utilize both phacoemulsification ports sitting at the same position. So what I am going to do, I will be making a trench as we do in 4-quadrant technique. So I will be making trenches perpendicular to each other but without rotating nucleus. What I will be doing is I will be making trenches through two different phacoemulsification ports. So first I have gone through supranasal tunnel and I am just aspirating epinuclear plate, whatever is lying in the area of capsular axis. And now I am making a trench. As you can see, I am making a trench without pushing nucleus, without putting any stress on the zonules or posterior capsule. So what I am doing is my movements are very slow and I am using maximum energy of phacoemulsification so that it is cutting but not pushing the nucleus. The force of pushing is minimal. I am going very gently and I am intending to make deep and long trench. The trench should be as deep as possible, it should be as long as possible. Now you will see I am again going to inject some viscoelastic And now I'm changing my hands. I'm shifting phacoemulsification probe into my left hand, and now using supratemporal tunnel I'm going to make a cross by making a trench which is perpendicular to the first trench. I advise to take your time, don't be in a hurry. Again, I am using more energy and I am not pushing the phacoemulsification probe to minimize the stress on zonules and posterior capsule. Again, trench should be as long as possible and as deep as you can make, so that when we are cracking the nucleus, we easily get 4 quadrants completely separate from each other. Now again, I have gone back to supranasal port with my right hand and I am enlarging the first tunnel. I am also deepening my trench. As you can see, it is apparent that the first attempt of trenching was not deep enough. Here I am trying to crack with probe and a chopper. As it is hard cataract, I am not successful in achieving my goal of completely cracking the nucleus till posterior plate. So I am injecting viscoelastic here. Again, in such cases, it is always advisable not to be in hurry. Take your full time. So after injecting viscoelastic, I am again deepening the trench till I start seeing some glow through the posterior plate. Patience is the key in all challenging surgical cases. Now you can see I am able to crack till the mid of the posterior plate of the nucleus. As I am not satisfied with the level of cracking, so again I have injected a viscoelastic, and now I got 2 instruments in my hand. One is chopper and other is dialer. And now you can see, now I have been able to crack the 2 halves completely. Again, keeping patience, injecting more viscoelastic. I'll go again and try to separate 2 other halves. Now you can see this is also cracked. Now last 2 quadrants are separated. So now you can see I've been able to make 4 quadrants without doing hydrodissection, without rotating the nucleus. Until now, there is no apparent rent in the posterior capsule. Zonules are intact. As you can see, I am taking a lot of time at this step because this is most important step. As I didn't make second port initially, so you can realize I have made a second side port at 7 o'clock. And this port is now helping me to achieve my goal of cracking the nucleus completely. Yeah, so at this stage I have been able to achieve my primary goal, 4 completely separate quadrants of hard nucleus. Once this is achieved, generally we realize, because hard cataracts have one advantage, that there is a cortex is very minimal, and it itself, while doing trenching and other movements, nucleus starts rotating by itself from the capsular bag. As it is a large quadrant, so I am holding it I've gone into stop and chop mode, and I am dividing each quadrant into half, and you can see it is like right now a routine phacoemulsification of a hard cataract. Do as many small pieces as possible. I am using my equatorial chopper and manipulator designed by me. This helps in dividing the nucleus into small pieces, and being a thick tipped chopper, it doesn't damage posterior capsule or anterior capsule as well. As you can see, all pieces are free, and it's very safe to phacoemulsify hard pieces of nucleus if they are chopped and cracked completely and separated completely from each other. I'll repeat, patience is the key. This case took almost 20 minutes, and friends, I have shared unedited video. So I know it needs patience to watch such videos, but I have shared unedited so that you can see what kind of challenges I have been faced in this case. So you can see gradually and slowly I have been able to remove all 3 quadrants, now almost last quadrant, and you can see by this time our nucleus is rotating by itself, though I have not done hydrodissection, but because it has started rotating by itself, so it helps. It is a helpful thing. So generally, if nucleus has started rotating, it becomes easy to rotate and bring last quadrant in a favorable area, but otherwise we can tuck out last quadrant from epinuclear ball, and we can still phacoemulsify and remove the last quadrant. So here I have been able to rotate, and now again I am dividing this last quadrant. And now I have been able to remove last quadrant successfully, and you can see as epinuclear plate is already loose, so with a gentle movements I am trying to pull it out of the capsular bag. It is a good idea to put some viscoelastic behind the epinuclear shell so that posterior capsule is pushed behind, and that also helps in separating epinucleus from the cortical plate. Again, you are noticing that I am not losing my patience. I am going slowly. As epinuclear plate in such cases is quite tough, it's not easy to maneuver it out, but because it has separated from cortical plate, so I am maneuvering it, and slowly and gradually I am removing epinuclear plate. I am using my equatorial chopper and manipulator. This second instrument also helps in such cases to maneuver the epinuclear ball and bring it out of the capsular bag. Now you can see I am pushing this second instrument, and now with this attempt I have been able to catch and remove the epinucleus, and now full epinuclear plate has been out. And now you can see this typical, you can see the posterior capsule in the center, it is still intact, and my all maneuvers have been safe enough to safeguard posterior capsule till now. Now cortical aspiration, I use bimanual technique, and again slowly and gradually. First I'll try to pull the cortical matter from the posterior capsule all around, and my initial attempt is to make the cortex separate from the posterior capsule as much as possible, and then aspirate the cortex. Now here you can see, if you are able to see the central part, you can see the central posterior capsule is very thin. You can make out there is a slight demarcation line which shows the posterior capsule, which is quite thin here. Because hydrodissection was not done, so cortical matter is stuck to the this capsular ball. So I am aspirating it gently, and now it is out. Now at this point, if you see the posterior capsule, you can make out there is round patch which is fluttering actually, and which is actually posterior capsule, which is quite thin. I am attempting to clean this rim of cortical matter around this thin capsule, but I controlled my temptation and I preferred to put the lens first into the bag. I am doing hydroimplantation, but if you are not confident of hydroimplantation, you can inject viscoelastic and you can inject viscoelastic and insert the IOL the way you are comfortable. So I have injected IOL. One haptic is into the bag, other is also now into the bag. So now we have reached the zone where the chances of posterior capsule rent is negligible. So without going further, I am just hydrating the ports. I have left the ring of cortical matter around the thin posterior capsule as such, which can be tackled with YAG laser if required later on. So friends, in this so at last, to summarize, this was a hard cataract with posterior polar component, and I have successfully done the surgery without doing hydrodissection, without doing nuclear rotation, and surgery has gone successfully. So friends, thank you for keeping patience and watching this long video. I hope this video will help you in tackling such cases where cataract is hard as well as there is a posterior polar component. Friends, I will again say, if you have a right or left hand dominant, you can do the same surgery. You simply have to shift your chair by 90 degrees to use the second tunnel and make 4 quadrants. Thank you friends for watching the video.